Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2,000 subscriber special. And now, here's your host, Luke Boy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my 2,000 subscriber video special. Wow, it's been a journey from my voice acting videos to my brief time showing off my collection of action figures to that really amazing edit I've done and that awesome Transformers 1 review that you guys have liked. Thank you for being with me on my 5 years of being on this channel. So, what am I doing for this special occasion? I'm ranking all the Transformers movies. Yep, I took the time to watch all 5 Michael Bay movies, the 2 reboot-verse movies, the 1986 movie, and I just wanted to talk some more about Transformers 1 since I've seen it now around 5 times. For this tier list, I decided to take a page from Comet and Cam's book of Transformers ranking videos and give the tier list some names, which are quotes from the Transformers movies. For the S tier, I decided to use a quote from Transformers 1.
Orion Pax, your noble sacrifice for the greater good has proven you worthy in the eyes of Primus.
For the A tier, which is pretty good but a bit flawed, I decided to pull a quote from Rise of the Beasts.
I've had enough! Time to show you the real power of the Prime!
For B tier, a quote from the Transformers 2007 movie, which is a pretty obvious quote to use.
Pretty good, right?
I'd say a solid B-.
For C tier, which is pretty good but also pretty bad, almost like sort of somewhere in the middle, I decided to take a quote from Age of Extinction.
See, if you've got no faith in us, I'm asking you to do what I do. I'm asking you to look at all the junk and see the treasure.
For D tier, where there are barely any redeeming qualities, here's an iconic quote from the 1986 movie.
This is bad comedy.
And for the bottom of the barrel, F tier, here's a quote from Revenge of the Fallen. So with that out the way, let's cue the intro and get started with this ranking.
We roll out. Transform and roll out!
Transformers, the movie. A new evil threatens the galaxy in the hottest summer adventure ever. Be part of it. Enter our ultimate Transformers sweepstakes. Grand prize is this stereo cassette player plus movie souvenirs. Over 100 winners get movie soundtracks or the Transformers hit single The Touch. Get this bumper sticker just for entering. Send a stamped self-addressed envelope to
Transformers Contest, Post Office Box 29943.
Transformers, the movie. Opens everywhere August 8th, rated PG.
The Transformers the movie is a film that came out in 1986 and holds a special place to my heart because it was the first piece of exposure. It was the first Transformers movie I ever saw before I even watched the 2007 movie, and it was when I watched Transformers Cybertron on TV. I really didn't understand what was going on in this movie because I was just a kid, and as I got older and when I rented it on DVD when Video Easy was a thing, I watched it like whenever I felt like I was in a bad mood or I really liked the story, even though that it does take place after Season 2 and before Season 3 of the Generation 1 cartoon, and the animation for this movie is a step up compared to what was going on in the first 2 seasons of G1, because there are barely any animation errors, and all the... just watch it. I love everything about the animation here that Toei has cooked up. And of course, with the voice acting, I really dug Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, Judd Nelson's Hot Rod. Eric Idle was such a delight to watch as Drekgar, and Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus was just like whatever I hear whenever I play with my Ultra Magnus figure. And the returning cast from the G1 cartoon, they still got it, especially with Peter Cullen returning as Optimus Prime, and Frank Welker as Megatron. And the fight between Megatron and Optimus was just... oh, I was on the edge of my seat every time I watch it, especially when Optimus is, like, on his low health bar, and Megatron is right about to kill him, and he knocks him out, and then Optimus just knocks him out of here, thinking that he's won before he dies. And I also want to address the fact that this was Orson Welles' final performance ever, since in 1985, the 1 year before this film came out, he passed away, and he did not care about voicing Unicron and about the source material, because he was just voicing a giant planet, and he went out with a bang. Kudos to Citizen Kane's greatest asset. Thank you, Mr. Wells, for giving us one of the most iconic villains in pop culture. I also want to mention that this film had some pretty banger needle drops from the likes of Stan Bush, Weird Al, NRG, Lion, and my favorite one would have to be Lion's rendition of Transformers, Dare, Touch. Those are really the objective top 3 best songs from the movie. And this movie truly is worthy in the eyes of Primus. Also, before I move on to the 2007 movie, I just want to give a shout out to Stitch Productions and his Transformers Retold project, which I am a part of. Go check him out and go subscribe to him. Check out his Discord server. Pinned comment below.
Welcome to Burger King. Can I take your...
A Whopper. No cheese, no onions. Extra pickles.
Sir, this is a drive-thru. You need a vehicle?
Fine.
You need a driver, too.
Oh, come on.
Right now at BK, there's more than meets the eye with Transformer toys. 8 different characters from the new movie Wonder Kids Meal. Transformers have arrived. Only at BK.
Ah, Transformers 2007. The imperfect blockbuster that you are. You may not have a perfect script, but you'll always have a special place for us in our hearts and in our childhoods. And your movie was so rewatchable that the DVD would just scratch and pause at random moments to a point where I had to buy a new copy. Yeah, that much. This movie may not be like one of the best films ever made, like a 10 out of 10 cinematic masterpiece worthy of a Best Picture nomination, but it did its purpose quite well. Its story is quite simple. Some humans get involved with the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons fighting over the Allspark that can restore their life back to Cybertron, and the military and the government and their hackers and Sam and Michaela get involved, and hijinks ensue for 2.5 hours and some really, really raunchy jokes that would not fit in a movie like this. That's a Michael Bay movie for you. The Autobots in this movie were pretty entertaining to watch. Optimus Prime is the Optimus Prime we all know and love before it goes horribly wrong to a point where he gets flanderized. Bumblebee served his purpose quite well for being another kid appeal character after being a Beetle from G1 to a Chevy Camaro. Ratchet is Ratchet. Iron Eye was pretty cool, and Jazz was certainly entertaining and quotable. Like, this is like a cool place to kick it. As for the humans, well, Sam was entertaining for the most part. Michaela, she alright. Sam's parents, they have their moments, but we'll get to them in the sequels. Simmons, Kino, best character. Maggie and Glenn, they should have been like the main protagonists. Shut up! Lennox and Epps, they're entertaining. John Voight as Senator John Keller, he's alright. As for the Decepticons, well, they've served their purpose trying to get the Allspark, and Megatron, who appears 2 hours in, he serves his purpose quite well. He's alright. I liked his jet mode though. Blackout had one of the most iconic scenes in the entire Transformers franchise. Starscream had 2 lines of dialogue, and his cool scene was when he took down those F-22s. Barricade had one awesome line interrogating Sam all up in his face. Brawl was barely in it, and he wasn't even called Brawl, he was renamed Devastator. And Scorponok had an awesome scene fighting the US Army in the desert, and that was really awesome. As for the criticisms I have of this movie, the jokes don't age well for me, and I wish that it could have been shorter and the Transformers could have had more screen time, because it is a franchise called Transformers and not Humans. But I will say, ILM's visual effects work is to be commendable and to be appreciated, and Steve Jablonsky's score is a banger, and everything about the toy line is nostalgic for me, and I do happen to own the Legends Class Jazz, which is actually pretty good. So overall, it's a pretty solid movie. It really is a solid B- in the end, though I would consider it giving it a Power of the Prime tier, but I'll stick it in a B.
Decepticon.
What? My phone? It's the new LG Versa.
Decepticon.
No, it's the new LG Versa. Whoa. With a camcorder. And a GPS. And computer.
No, a Decepticon.
Here's that word again.
The LG Versa. Is it a phone or something better? Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
How'd it go?
Oh, Revenge of the Fallen. You promised to be bigger and better than the first film, only to stumble and fall and crap your pants. All because you had 3 weeks to write your script. Is there anything good to say about this movie? Well, the toy line was pretty good, and they have some cool fight scenes, and the designs are awesome, like Sideswipe and Sideways, and Starscream's new tattoos, and Megatron's new tank mode with his crab claw cannon arm, and Jetfire was pretty entertaining to watch, and Simmons was pretty entertaining to watch. I'd rather see a movie with them as the leads other than Shia LaBeouf and his stupid friends that no one cares about. And the force fight was awesome. The Constructicons combining into Devastator was a sight to behold. That it burned ILM's computers. And yeah, that's it. This movie sucks. Yeah, and as I said before, this movie took 3 weeks to write because of the whole writer strike thing going on before what happened last year, because they were fighting over AI. And everything just feels rushed and not given any time to revise or expand upon, you know. But the jokes in this movie just so happen to be the worst and just unbearable to watch. Like dogs having sex, Sam's mom eating pop brownies, Wheelie humping Michaela's thigh, Devastator's testicles, and Skids and Mudflap. They are just annoying and racist. It's like if Michael Bay doesn't even understand how to be appropriate to the various cultures that aren't white. But did this movie deserve to win Worst Picture? Yes, it's a bad movie, but let's face it, I've seen worse. Like, how the hell did the Razzies snub Dragon Ball Evolution for a Worst Picture nomination? That was worse than Revenge of the Fallen, because that also was affected by the writer's strike, and everyone hated that movie. Even the fans, even Akira Toriyama, God bless his soul, but I don't get how the Razzies chose a movie that made a lot of money and overlooked a movie that got the same backlash but made less money. But there is one thing that Revenge of the Fallen has over Dragon Ball Evolution. A Linkin Park song. That was a great song. I really liked New Divide, especially with the chorus and the instrumentals and Chester's vocals. The more I think about this movie, the lower my IQ gets. This movie is going in This Is Bad comedy. For now. I need a rest.